After watching last night's playoff games, it is clear that the Vikings are in a much bigger problem, a much bigger hole than we could have ever predicted in the first place. The pressure is starting to hit closer to home within the NFC North Division. You look at the Packers last night, they smashed the Dallas Cowboys, and it's not just the fact that, this is just ridiculous. 3 straight decades plus, and they've done it again. 3 straight franchise quarterbacks. And it's not just the fact that Jordan Love is a good player, but he's a good player combined with great coaching. I don't know what the scheme of Green Bay's offense is. You got guys that can break it down much better than I ever could, that watch film and they do it on their YouTube channels, the QB Room or Brett Coleman, for example, among others. I don't know what it is that they do schematically, Green Bay. What I do know is that what I see, every 3 out of 4 pass attempts, Jordan Love is throwing the ball to wide open receivers, deep downfield for big plays consistently. And that's head coach Matt LaFleur who's calling the plays. He's an offensive genius. What he's done for the Packers to go on the road in a playoff game to beat the Dallas Cowboys, who were overwhelmingly favored in that game, and to straight up embarrass them. The Packers, they're going to be around for a long time, whether they win or lose against the San Francisco 49ers. Then you look at the Detroit Lions, and offensively, they're just as good. They're hitting on all cylinders, and they've got great play calling as well, but just in a different way compared to the Packers. The head coach, he calls the plays in Green Bay. Dan Campbell over in Detroit, he's an offensive guy. He's a former tight ends coach. Does he call the plays? No. He delegates those responsibilities to offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. He's the overseer, Dan Campbell, of the team, where he gets the locker room fired up. He's responsible for the challenge flags, timeouts on the sidelines. Ben Johnson, he radios into Dan Campbell. Hey, coach, 4th and short. Are we going for it? Yep, we're going for it. Dial up a play. Do what you're going to do. All right, coach said we're going for it. This is the play we're going to run with. Which I think that's what Kevin O'Connell needs to do for Minnesota. There's nothing wrong with understanding what's within your skill sets and what's outside of those skill sets, delegating those responsibilities to somebody else. It's clear after 2 years, play calling is just not your thing. But either way, the Packers and the Lions, they are going to be a problem for a long time in the NFC North Division. Even the Chicago Bears. The Bears, they have a talented team. They're on the come up. They have 2 top 10 picks in this year's draft. Last year, they finessed the Carolina Panthers out of DJ Moore. And they have options this year. They could say, all right, we'll add another offensive lineman to help Justin Fields, another receiver as well. Or they could flip the script and go quarterback and still add an offensive lineman. They have choices. Meanwhile, the Vikings have been doing this competitive rebuild Sesame Street approach, and it's gotten the team nowhere. You look at draft picks, solid draft picks that are regular contributors in the NFC North. Specifically, you look at the Vikings compared to the Lions and the Packers. The last 2 years, that's when Kwesi Adofo-Mensah came in. For the Vikings, solid regular contributors from the last 2 drafts, Ed Ingram and Jordan Addison. I would also include Ty Chandler, but we're talking about regular contributors. And Kevin O'Connell, you didn't want to play him all year. Alexander Mattison, you were hell-bent on this guy being the RB1 for most of the season. Started most of the season and didn't get a rushing touchdown at all. Certainly, we know Ty Chandler is more talented. So really, 2 regular contributors from the draft. Ivan Pace Jr. was an undrafted free agent signing, so if you want to include him, okay, fine. 2 players. You look at the Packers the last 2 years, just looking at their draft picks. Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Lucas Van Ness, Luke Musgrave, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks. The Detroit Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams. That's 5 players from Detroit compared to the 2 regular contributors from the Vikings. And then for the Packers, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 regular contributors the last 2 drafts. So you're not being competitive. You're not really having any building blocks put in with this team for the future. So what is it that you're doing? All right? While the Vikings front office, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, Ryan Grigson are focused on Kevin O'Connell, I'll add him in the mix as well, focused on getting dreamers, while these other 2 teams in the NFC North, the Lions and the Packers, you're focused on dreamers. They're focused on football players. Stop with the competitive rebuild crap. Neither side is working. And I'll tell you where you can start, quite frankly, as far as going all in on putting together the best football team possible for the long term is, man, you just know that the front office, they are having these long-ass multiple collaboration meetings over Kirk Cousins. What are we going to do about Kirk Cousins? Dude, forget him. Who cares? Oh my God, if you want to offer him a team-friendly deal and he accepts, fine. We will welcome you back with open arms. You can be the bridge quarterback while we develop the first-round pick that we get or second-round pick. You'll be in the Ring of Honor and everything will be great. We'll pop champagne. Fantastic. But if he wants slightly below market value, or he wants exact market value, what is it that you're trying to accomplish if you're the Vikings organization? And don't say it through your words, through the press conferences, because you say all the right things all the time. Say it with your actions. Stop this Mary Poppins approach to your football team and start making championship moves. Start acting like a championship team. Not that you're there right now, but that you will eventually get there. Kirk Cousins is the pair of socks that you get for Christmas as a gift. Kirk Cousins is the empty calories for someone trying to get in shape. Kirk Cousins is the loud, intimidating noise under the hood of a car that doesn't go anywhere. What you see is what you get. And the fact is, there has never been or ever will be a team that's a Kirk Cousins away from winning a championship. This is, and the thing is with him, when everything goes right for the Vikings, it's give him all the credit. Kirk Cousins, he's an MVP candidate, and he's majestic, and this guy is absolutely wonderful. When it goes wrong, it's everybody else's fault. Kirk Cousins, if he had a really good offensive line, if he had a 1,300-yard rusher, if he had a top 10 defense, then oh my God, we can max this dude out. And it's not like, oh, just give him either of those things. He needs everything to be perfect. And I actually, after Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl title, I said, man, if Matthew Stafford can do it, so can Kirk Cousins. I said that. You know why? Because I'm an idiot. 4th and 8 was all I needed to see. And everybody came out the wood. The audacity to want to protect this man at all costs. 4th and 8. I don't care what Kurt Warner said. 4th and 8. Guess what? Dexter Lawrence has been in your grill, in the backfield all game long. This is for the season. It doesn't matter whether the route is there or not. Throw it past the sticks. This isn't hard. While you're making $35 million that season. Not hard at all, bro. But you couldn't see that coming. Oh, Dexter Lawrence. Oh my God, there he is right there. Oh, TJ Hawkinson. The peak of his career is an overtime winner in the wild card round 4 years ago. Like, what are we doing, bro? Everybody else, the Lions, the Packers, they are on a trajectory to where this isn't just a fluke. They're going to be around for a while, which puts more pressure on the Vikings. If you don't make any drastic changes, man, we could be looking at the bottom of the NFC North. But it's fixable. Start acting like a championship team.